to another episode of the Roundup, the show where we break down what happened in the previous week of SPS competition. India has just finished their first split, and we've been having an absolute blast over here watching it all unfold. But before we get to that, NA is back from the holiday break. Before the time off, hopefully spent unwrapping presents and having mostly positive interactions with their families, these were the Split 2 standings. Chazmac Gaming dominated the first two cups, as you can see by their perfect score at the top there. Papi Chulos and Obey Alliance weren't far behind, and it was still anyone's game. Let's go ahead and look at Cup 3 in NA because we have a lot of amazing Brawl Stars action to cover. Obey Alliance topped El Mapache, a squad comprised of former players from The Real Ones and a former Obey comrade Falcon. It was a clean 2-0. Mystic Esports, led by former Vanguard player Luffy, grappled with CMG. They couldn't overcome the powerhouse squad though, who sent them packing in a 2-0. That means we get to watch another edition of Obey versus CMG with a cup final on the line. This rivalry is starting to feel a lot like the Lakers and the Celtics in the 80s. The first round, Hot Zone, went to CMG, who were sporting the red trunks. It looked like they were going to dominate the second round just as handily. Charles, Chino, and Patchy weren't about to let their rivals get away so easily though. A full 3v3 fight for the zone ended with the red defenders too low on health to stand versus Obey, who managed to nearly level the score with that one brilliant assault. CMG, in their usual fashion, responded with a smarter attack, taking all three lanes to pressure the midfield and push Blue back with a very convincing squad wipe. They just didn't have the time to take another fight, and CMG went up 1-0 in the series. Their second set, Knockout, was a much closer contest. Obey managed to get the first round, but CMG showed up big in the next two. They eventually found the perfect attack as the gas closed in and put themselves on match point. Obey responded by taking over the second sub-round with superior coordination and strategy. Patchy went for a beautiful wraparound at the top of the map, which left RBM outmatched in the bottom. After a few brilliant trades, Obey equalized the set and gave themselves one more chance to take it to set 3. But CMG just did what they do best. They brought the thunder, taking control of the map and picking up a flawless first round. Obey tried to adjust by playing a tight formation, but RBM read them like a book. He flanked their left and basically went psycho mode. Obey couldn't recover from that insane play, and CMG took yet another cup win and a third 2-0 victory over Obey this split. Cup 4 saw another CMG v Obey, but this time in the semis. Yet again, CMG won in a 2-0. Can anybody, and I mean anybody, take down CMG? Well, taking a look at the bottom of the bracket, another team would get their chance to. Payne found his new home after all that roster madness before the holidays. He joined up with SPS veterans Batucci's and Aliani to form Washed Team. They took down Luffy's Mystic Esports in a 2-1 victory, setting up a chance for their fresh organization to try to overthrow the Split 2 Titans, CMG. Things kicked off with Hot Zone, and, well, I'll just be honest with you, CMG absolutely crushed it. To close out the second round of the first set, the Red Squad didn't get a single percent. Not a 1. CMG drew first blood and went up 1-0. Set 2, Bounty, came down to the wire, with Blue just needing to win this round to take a remarkable 4th cup in a row. But just when their backs were against the wall, the Mexican All-Stars finally punched back, outplaying CMG for mid-control. CMG fought back, as they always do, but missed the mark. WF happily took the favorable long-range trades and racked up a convincing lead to send this finals to a decider. Heist proved that this was the best finals match we've seen in Split 2. It came down to the final round of Set 3 and tested CMG in a way they haven't experienced yet. WF, on the other hand, looked like they just call this Wednesday. With the strategy that favored long-range trades over raw mobility, they comfortably went toe-to-toe with the Blue Squad in the midfield. Any blue aggression was answered with flawless red defense and counterattacks that never overextended. For the first time in Split 2, CMG looked outclassed. The onslaught left the blue safe at near half health as time ticked down, while WF safe had only taken 5% damage in return. CMG fell for the first time in Split 2, toppled not by their rivals Obey, but by a brand new team to the SPS, Washed Team. That masterful performance took Wash Team from doesn't exist to comfortably in third place, while CMG and Obey still sit atop the board, although a little less comfortably now that they've seen what Pain's new squad can do. With the top coming down to a matter of seeding, not qualifying, we'll be keeping a very close eye on ranks 5 through 8 to see how they develop in the 2 remaining cups of the open phase. Who else will advance to the Split 2 Open Finals to compete for the 4 remaining tickets to the challenge? Make sure you check back in next week to get the conclusions to all of these North American storylines. But right now, we have got to check out India because their first split is in the books, which means that 8 teams have punched a ticket to their very first Open Finals. Looks like True Rippers and FA Monarchy were back for Cup 5, but hey, where is Revenant Esports? Oh, damn, looks like True Rippers really showed up last week because that's a huge upset. They proceeded to take out Augiri as well in a 2-0, earning their second appearance in a Cup Finals this split, and their first since Cup 1. While on the other side, FA Real Ones snatched the crown away from FA Monarchy. Time to see how real they are versus True Rippers. This is the perfect place to start because it summarizes how evenly matched these teams were in the first set. RO triggered countdown after countdown, but the blue squad never overextended in a real display of communication and discipline. TR eventually managed to sneak away with enough gems to trigger their own countdown, and with Captain safe and sound on the blue side of the map. Set 1 went to the Rippers. Going into Brawl Ball, the blue squad started putting on quite a show. Red basically couldn't play the game while trapped in their spawn, so Blue had little trouble cleaning them up, and Ash King even got the smooth backwards flick in for style points. The next attack would prove to be even more of a clinic. Once again, TR controlled the entire field and had Red stuck in spawn. Captain had easy shots on the goal, and enemy saves were a perfect trade as Pratik and Ash King harassed the helpless defenders until none remained. TR was now on match point. With their tournament lives on the line, Red finally ventured forth to see if the midfield actually existed and wasn't just a mirage seen far off from their own goal. Blue was, of course, expecting this, and used an impressive blend of positioning and cover. Pratik snuck one in past Manit, and just one more would seal the deal. This looks like watching the same highlight again, but it's not. TR was just playing that well, and nothing the real ones were trying seemed to work. They were just no match for True Rippers this time around, who took Cup 5 and a hefty chunk of points in dominant fashion. So much Brawl Stars, so little time. Taking a look at Cup 6 from India, well, this is a pretty fitting way to end the split. Team Sag just can't catch a break. Revenant Esports has now beaten them 4 times, each time by a score of 2-0, by the way. And 3 of those were semifinals, just one step away from the big one. True Rippers got revenge on FA Monarchy, who beat them 2-1 in the Cup 4 round of 16. The first time Revenant and TR faced off was in Cup 1, where Revenant won convincingly. The most recent was just the day before this, where TR upset Revenant and won a cup of their own. I told you it was a fitting way to end the split. Poetic, even. Heist was the first test, and Revenant had clearly adjusted from their loss in Cup 5. They showed considerable respect to the red offense and viciously guarded their own safe instead of going for a risky counterattack. TR responded in the next round with brilliant coordination. As time ticked down, Pratik attacked down the right lane while Ash King and Captain absolutely demolished the distracted defenders. Heist got a decider. Again, it came down to time, And again, Red charged forward to secure the last-second win. Except this time, the Blue squad was well prepared. Instinct pushed Captain out of range while Sergeant blocked Ash King from dealing the winning damage. Revenant went up 1-0 in the series, but just barely. In Knockout, the Blue squad started to look pretty cozy after winning a 2v2 to take the first round. TR responded by somehow salvaging a bad fight to force another 2v2, but the positioning, health, and advantage were all blue. Pratik and Ash King played it brilliantly, but just couldn't overcome Trishant and Sergeant. The Rippers tried to change it up, going for a 2-1 split, but Instinct was already in position to defend, and yet again, Trishant and Sergeant proved unstoppable together. Revenant had the favorable 3v2 advantage in the second round, but Captain supered forward for a brilliant trade, giving TR hope. Unfortunately, that hope was ripped to shreds by a sublime magic hand from Sergeant, and Instinct was right there with him to clean it all up. Revenant took another cup, making 5 showings and 4 wins in this split for this powerhouse squad. Just wow. The first split has been an incredible introduction for India into the Snapdragon Pro Series. And thanks again to you all, the community, for welcoming them to this global competition. It's time to check those standings and see who among these incredible competitors will be going to their first Open Finals. Absolutely no surprise to see Revenant Esports at the top, along with FA Monarchy, True Rippers, and Team Sag. Team Sag never made the finals, but they were incredibly consistent. FA Real Ones didn't make their presence known until a few cups in, but they are clearly contenders for the crown. God Usopp made it to quarterfinals and beyond numerous times, so that's another consistent team we'll be watching. Aogiri and Washed Fish haven't made too many deep runs this split, but don't count them out in the finals. It feels great to have multiple regions to talk about again because it really is the era of everyone. Make sure you check the description below for links and ways to keep up with all the action. Oh, and one last treat for those of you curious about the first Open Finals in India. It already happened! Go check out the ESL India YouTube channel. The link for that is also below. See you next week!